Good morning, everyone. It's just gone 7 o'clock. My phone says 6 o'clock. It doesn't change. It might change at some point, I guess. But I've got showered. I've got everything done. I'm all ready to go. Breakfast is at 7:30. At the buffet. So hopefully they have like Mickey waffles or Mickey something. And then there's a few characters in the morning that I might just try and see if I can get those done. And then the day seems quite, not empty. There's so much to do. If you ever go on a cruise, there's something happening every 5 minutes. Whether it's bingo or whether it's some sort of game show sort of thing, or if it's on top deck, you can just lay around on the pool, do whatever you want really. Probably going in the shop today, to be honest, because I didn't get a chance yesterday. Time just got away from me. Well, not away from me, but there was, I just met so many characters that the way the characters work, you get basically like a 10-minute slot, and you have to be in queue inside that 10 minutes. But it's not going to take 10 minutes to get to the end of the queue, because obviously the characters like to interact with everyone and do all that sort of stuff. So I took a lot of time yesterday, actually, to be fair. But I've knocked 5 of them off. There's a few this morning. So this morning there's Jasmine, who you don't see too often. Thor, who I've never seen. Doctor Strange, who I've never seen. I thought they were a bit strange choices, to be honest, if you're going to do Marvel. But that's who we got. And yeah, just going to see where the day takes me, basically. The rocking that I mentioned last night, it was actually okay, but even now I can still feel it. So it's obviously the engine of the ship, and yeah, it sort of didn't really affect my sleep, to be honest. Although I did wake up at, I don't know what time it was, like 5 o'clock, I guess. Well, 5 o'clock according to my phone, but it was actually 6 o'clock because we've changed time zone. Well, I don't think we've actually changed time zone, but the ship has changed time, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm gonna head to breakfast in the next sort of 20 minutes. I think it opens in half an hour. And just see what they got. Just while I'm waiting for breakfast to be a bit closer, I was just like looking through the movies, or looking through the TV really, and they actually have quite a large selection of movies. They actually play movies on the top deck. So last night I was walking through and they were playing Coruña. I think you probably might have seen that. But yeah, there's so many movies on here. I just feel like, for me personally, I'm never going to see any of these movies on this boat because I'm going to be doing stuff on the boat. But, if you've got children or whatever, and you think, oh, we just need to get home and, put something on. But, some fairly recent releases, to be fair. Ant-Man Quantumania, when did that come out? A couple of years ago? Like, it's not up to date, but I don't think you can complain, really. It's almost like a stripped back version of Disney Plus, basically. Yeah, I just thought I'd share it. The other thing is, these two are cruise director and assistant cruise director. Peter, the cruise director's on the right. And he introduced a show yesterday as well, the Aladdin show. And basically every morning they have this mostly pre-recorded thing to just basically introduce the day, recommend some things. They just mention bingo. There's shopping shows and all sorts, really. It can all be found in the Navigator app, to be honest, but if there's anything particular that's going to stand out, then I think they'll probably mention it, to be fair. It's about a 5-minute show, so it's probably worth watching, to be fair. And the other thing, well, there's a few channels, to be fair, but the other interesting thing is that you can have a bridge view, which effectively seems like there's a camera, obviously, on the bridge. You can't see a lot because we're in the middle of the ocean at the moment, but it does exist. And obviously, when we start getting close to Coruña, maybe it'll start showing something different. And you can see that. And then our digital porthole shows the back, so you can literally see front and back, and we are literally in the middle of the ocean. There's also a map sort of like you get on planes. And that, you know, that just shows you where you are basically.
Yeah, it's got to be.
So I just saw Jasmine. She was very interactive. You know, I was probably there for about 2 minutes, if that, if not more. And now I'm just sat waiting for Doctor Strange, basically. I'm in this sort of Walt Disney, I can't remember what they call it, to be fair. But it's basically by the theatre, and there's shops around here too. But he's not here for another half an hour or so, so there's no one here at the moment. So I don't feel the need to get into the queue. And then Thor is in the same queue, but half an hour later, or 45 minutes later or something like that. So I think I'm just going to basically be like getting in that queue straight away after. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this morning in terms of character meets. Probably going to the shops after, so I've not been in them yet. You can see that, well, this is a mirror actually behind me, but you can see Sea Treasures is behind me, or in front of me actually. And yeah, today, you know, the characters are pretty much done now at this point, I think. There might be some tomorrow for like Pirate Night, but the main ones I think I've got done. And this morning's been quite quiet. I think most people are probably, you know, eating breakfast now or got up late or whatever it is. But the characters were out, so I thought I'm going to get up. I'm just going to, you know, I'm only going to be on the ship once, or, you know. So I may as well make the most of it and spend the time as wisely as I possibly can. Feels like it's getting a bit busy around here, so maybe people will start queuing up at some point pretty soon. So, just walking around the boat, just seen Minnie, seen Doctor Strange, saw Thor, which I think I was doing before I last vlogged. I was walking around and we were waiting for Minnie, and Chip and Dale were on the balcony above, and I'm like, okay, they're just, you know, they weren't scheduled. So I was like, okay, I'll just go up there after, because I was like 2 away from seeing Minnie. So I went up there, there's a few people around, and they were on a stroll, and I'm like, okay, like maybe I won't be able to get a picture. They walked around the whole balcony 5. I was still just following them. They went downstairs to the like lift area, so you could only see the balcony. I'm like, okay, I was like 1 away. The family in front of me went, and then they're like, oh, we're just on the stroll, and I'm like, oh geez. So then they went down again, and they came up to the deck here, and they just stood there, and it's like, and I was like there basically. This family tried to push in. Well, they did push in, to be fair. But I was like, do you know what? I'm next, basically. So I was happy with that. Like, it's not a backdrop that you're going to get very often. Like, it's not a set backdrop. And yeah, the only person that I've got to get left to get is Daisy, which I think I'm going to get maybe later tonight. I think she's shown at like 10:15 or something. And then there's just some pirate people. I'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm not sure what the situation is, to be honest. But no, I can just sort of like walk around the ship, explore a little bit. There's a tour at 2, so I might go and do that. A tour of some sort. I'm not entirely sure what it is. But no, I'll find out what it is, and I'll probably do that, to be fair, because it's my kind of thing. So I've made it to the Goofy Sport Centre, basically. There's some mini golf which I may partake in. There's some ping pong as well. And there's a basketball court as well, but that seems to be closed at the moment. Yeah, I think I'm going to play some crazy golf at some point. And then there's a tour at 2, which I may do. I'm not sure what the tour's about, to be honest. But as usual, I'm going to just go and see.
entertainment team. Yes, and today I will be hosting your tour. After you take this tour, believe me, you're not gonna walk the ship the same way. You're gonna become that person in your party that goes like, did you know? And people is gonna be telling you, please stop. Please stop, because that happens to me now since I learned the show. And my friends are like, please stop. We know that. But you're gonna enjoy it.
So I just finished the tour. There's a lot of information. Some of it I've written notes down, to be fair. But things like how the colours of the ship were chosen, the colour of yellow that it is, why we can use yellow, why Disney can use yellow, lifeboats because every other cruise uses orange. Basically, the Imagineers just made a yellow lifeboat and said, look, can you see it? And the legal people went, yeah, we can see it, and then that basically changed the law. But Disney are the only ones that use yellow. And yeah, we literally went through so many different floors. There's different height ceilings depending on if it's an adult only area or if kids can go there, because you know I'm quite tall. I couldn't touch the ceilings in this adult only lounge. But then we went down to deck 5 and it's like it was just above my head basically. It was like probably like 7 feet or something. And yeah, there's so many little bits of information. It took an hour. It was literally on the dot an hour, I think. And now I'm just relaxing. I'm just looking out to sea. It's an 18 plus area, so there's no screaming kids on this occasion. But yeah, there's a lot of kids down, literally not even that far away. Had an ice cream, and yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the Frozen show. And yeah, a lot of the ship's going to change because it's going into dry dock after this leg of travel. So a lot of things are going to change, apparently. So yeah, I think, this is maybe the last time that people are actually going to see this version of the ship. And maybe in the new version, there's going to have to be other people that come and see it. So, just saw Frozen, sat on the balcony, or the higher tier, and it was actually shorter than Aladdin, which I'm a bit surprised about. It was scheduled to finish about a quarter of an hour later than it did, but no, it finished after an hour basically. It was nice. It was just Frozen basically. I think I probably preferred Aladdin, but that's probably because I prefer Aladdin anyway. But as with Aladdin, there's good production value and all that sort of stuff. And then, yeah, I just got to wait for dinner now. There's not a lot going on event-wise or anything like that. There's nothing massively to do, so I probably might go to the top deck again just to kill some time really until dinner. And yeah, tonight I'm in the Royal something or other. And yeah, it's probably going to be exactly the same as well, to be honest. So I just got on the aqueduct. Then while I was waiting, it said a 10-minute wait, and I was like, oh, okay, go on that. Got plenty of time. I didn't have plenty of time because, yeah, I got on the aqueduct literally as my reservation is due. So I'm running about 10 minutes late. But I was 10 minutes late yesterday and I didn't have a problem with it. So I'm going to go to my reservation now and hopefully they let me in. I don't see why they wouldn't, to be honest. But the aqueduct was very fun. Went around the whole ship. Well, the whole top floor, I suppose. And yeah, there wasn't many people on top deck. I suppose because there's a show on, or some people were at dinner because they actually knew that the dinner was due. But no, earlier it was like a 65-minute wait, and then it said like 10-minute wait, and I'm like, well, I'll just go on it. And I don't regret a single thing. So dinner was a success. They let me in. The guy is basically, I was late yesterday, I was late today, and he basically just said, you're on vacation. It doesn't really matter what time you arrive. So yeah, I said, I'll try and be there on time next time. But he said, literally, don't worry about it. So I'm not worried about it, really. Met with Daisy. And that's all the characters ticked off, except from there's Captain Hook tomorrow morning before I get to La Coruña, and Jack Sparrow tomorrow night for Pirate Night, and that is pretty much everyone that's on this boat. I went to the shop, and there's a few things I'm going to buy. And when I buy them, I'll show you, obviously. But yeah, tomorrow the boat arrives at 8 in La Coruña, and I will be seeing Captain Hook at 9:15, and then after that I'll go to La Coruña. So, and then I think I'm going to be back on board. We have to be back on board by 5, but I'll probably aim for around 3, half 3. Because Jack Sparrow arrives at 4:45, so if I can get in line for that, get a picture of him, and then go about the rest of my day. There's a Mickey's Pirates of the Caribbean show later on tomorrow evening. That's like the evening entertainment tomorrow night. And yeah, it's just, I'm tired now, and it's bedtime, and it's another early day tomorrow, but the adrenaline kicks in. And yeah, I'll see you either very shortly if I make these all one vlog, or it will be in the next vlog.